What do you mean I have to buy my own gloves? Derrick Carson stood frozen in the corner of the supply room, pretending to check a mop handle while listening to the new hire, her voice sharp, frustrated, and confused. He kept his head down, baseball cap low, and his fake name tag reading Rick slightly tilted like the manager had slapped it on in a hurry. Nobody here knew he was the founder and CEO of the motel chain. With 18 locations now across 3 states, it was easy to stay invisible. Especially when you hadn't visited this one in 6 years. He'd built the business from scratch starting in his 20s with one rundown building, cleaning rooms himself, sleeping behind the front desk. But lately, reports from location 17 had been bugging him. High turnover. Low guest satisfaction. Complaints about dirty rooms. He'd gotten plenty of secondhand explanations from district managers: too many guests, not enough staff, normal growing pains. But Derrick didn't believe in vague excuses, so now he was scrubbing toilets at his own motel. It had taken his assistant 3 weeks to arrange the undercover shift. New uniform, new ID, even a fake employment file. Nobody at this location had met him in person before. He'd always dealt with the previous manager over the phone. That guy had quit last year. The new supervisor, someone named Craig, had apparently been promoted from within. "Buy your own gloves," Derrick repeated, looking over at the woman. She was maybe mid-20s, brown curls tied back, hands already red from scrubbing. "Yeah," she muttered. "Craig said the budget's too tight. If we want gloves, we gotta bring our own, same for spray bottles and rags." Derrick blinked. "You serious?" "Dead serious. I spent $25 just to come to work today." The supply room was mostly empty. A few broken vacuums leaned against the back wall. There were 2 bottles of cheap cleaner and a mop bucket with a cracked wheel. Derrick opened his mouth, but Craig walked in. Late 40s, stiff posture, polo shirt tucked military tight. "You two ready or what?" Craig barked. "Rick, you're shadowing Fiona today." "Don't slow her down." Fiona shot Derrick a look and grabbed a keyring. "Come on." They started on room 206. Fiona moved fast, stripping beds, wiping surfaces, checking under sinks. She didn't complain, didn't slow down. Derrick tried to keep up. "Been here long?" he asked as he emptied a trash can. 3 weeks. "You like it?" Fiona snorted. "I like working. I don't like being treated like trash." She stepped into the bathroom and froze. "Ugh, I need gloves for this." She looked at her hands, then back at Derrick. "Guess I'll risk it." "Hold up." Derrick stepped in, took the toilet brush from her. "I got it." She raised an eyebrow. "You sure?" "Yeah, I've seen worse." They worked in silence for a few minutes. Then Derrick asked, "Are we really short on everything?" "Everything," she said. "Even towels. Craig locks the supply closet and only gives us enough for the rooms he assigns. If you mess up, tough luck." "Why would he do that?" "Claims it's to stop theft." "But I think it's just control." 2 rooms later, they ran into another new girl, Olivia, barely 19, struggling to carry linens with no cart. "Where's your cart?" Fiona asked. "Didn't get one," Olivia said. "Craig said I had to earn it." Derrick stepped out into the hallway and stared at the stained carpet. This wasn't just tight budgeting, this was something else. By lunch, he'd seen enough. Fiona offered him half her sandwich. "You didn't pack anything?" she asked. "Forgot," Derrick said. "Wasn't expecting to be this hungry." "Get used to it. There's no fridge or microwave in the break room, just a sink that doesn't drain." They sat on the curb out back, eating in silence. "You're too nice for this place," Derrick said. Fiona shrugged. "I just want to do a good job." "That's all." Later that afternoon, Olivia approached Craig in the hallway. "Hey Craig, can I please get gloves? My hands are getting cut up." Craig didn't even look up from his clipboard. "Not my problem. That's what Dollar Tree's for." Derrick watched from the linen room doorway. His jaw tightened. Olivia looked down, quietly walked away. Craig turned to Fiona. "And don't let Rick slack. If he's not pulling his weight, I'll cut him." Fiona didn't respond. Derrick stepped in front of Craig. "I got a question," he said. Craig narrowed his eyes. "You got a problem, Rick?" "Yeah, I do." Derrick pulled off his hat. "I'm Derrick Carson. I own this place." Craig's face went pale. Fiona dropped the sheet she was folding. Olivia gasped from behind the corner. Derrick didn't raise his voice. "Want to tell me again why your staff is buying their own supplies while you're threatening to fire people for asking?" Craig didn't say a word. His eyes darted to the hallway. like he was gauging how fast he could get to his office and shut the door. But Derrick had already stepped in closer, arms crossed, eyes locked. Fiona stood still, watching. Olivia lingered by the corner, half shielded by the wall, but listening. "I asked you a question," Derrick said, voice low. "Why are employees buying their own supplies?" Craig cleared his throat. It's a temporary measure. We were waiting on a shipment." "No," Derrick cut in. "I checked the inventory system before I came here. There's been no supply order from this location in over 2 months, not even for gloves." Craig's face flushed. "I didn't want to go over budget. The district team's been breathing down my neck about costs." "So you decided to cut corners by making people pay to do their jobs." Craig looked away. "Everyone's replaceable." Derrick's jaw tightened. "Not anymore. You're done here. Grab your things and leave the property immediately." "You're kidding," Craig said, stunned. Derrick didn't repeat himself. He turned to Fiona. "Can you escort him out? I'll call security if he refuses." Craig opened his mouth again, but one look at Derrick's face shut it. He walked stiffly toward the front office. Fiona followed without a word. Derrick turned to Olivia. "You okay?" She nodded slowly, eyes wide. "Did that really just happen?" "Yeah," Derrick said. "It did." He waited until Craig's car pulled off the lot before heading to the break room. It was worse than he expected. The sink was still clogged and someone had left a box of crackers next to an empty coffee machine. A tired-looking man in a janitor's shirt sat on a crate, rubbing his back. "You work here too?" Derrick asked. The man looked up, surprised. "Yeah, Marcus." "Maintenance? How long you been here?" Marcus hesitated. 5 years, but I'm part-time now. Craig cut my hours last fall." "Why?" He said. I didn't respond fast enough to a leak, but I'd already told him the part we needed was backordered. He didn't care. "You still fixing things?" "When I'm here, yeah, but there's only so much I can do in 4 hours a day." "You got the tools you need." Marcus gave a tired laugh. "I bring most of my own. The ones here are all busted or missing." Derrick nodded slowly. "You ever get sick days?" Marcus shook his head. "We don't even get breaks half the time. I had the flu last winter and Craig said if I didn't show up, I might as well not come back at all." Derrick's voice dropped. "That's illegal." Marcus shrugged. Didn't matter to him. Derrick left the break room and walked the back hallway, noticing the dim lights and peeling paint. He passed a storage closet locked. He pulled out a keyring from his pocket. One of the perks of being the owner, full access. Inside, he found 2 brand new vacuum cleaners still in boxes, 3 cases of gloves, unopened cleaning supplies, and even backup linens. None of it touched. He stood there for a long moment, piecing things together. The staff hadn't been under-resourced. Craig had been hoarding supplies. Probably to pad the budget numbers or justify some kind of bonus. It wasn't just negligence, it was manipulation. He grabbed one of the boxes of gloves and walked back down to Olivia, who was now sitting on the back step, rubbing her palms. "Here," he said, handing them to her. "Use these from now on, and if anyone ever tells you to bring your own again, come straight to me." She took them carefully. "Thank you." Derrick looked around. "Where's the rest of the team?" Olivia pointed toward the laundry room. "I think they're folding sheets." "We're short-staffed today." "How many people total?" 4 housekeepers. "We're supposed to have 6. Derrick checked the schedule pinned to the wall. 6 names were listed, but 2 were crossed out with no explanation. The front desk was unmanned. He walked to the lobby where a young man with a headset sat behind the counter, hunched over his phone. "You on shift?" Derrick asked. The guy looked up, startled. "Yeah, I'm the desk agent. Name's Tyler." "You always sit like that when guests come in," Tyler blinked. "What guests?" "We barely got any today." "There were 6 check-ins scheduled this afternoon." Tyler shrugged. "Probably cancellations. People book and bail all the time. Can you check the system?" Tyler hesitated, then slowly turned to the monitor. Yeah, looks like 3 still confirmed." "That's not barely any. That's 3 people expecting clean rooms and service." Tyler looked annoyed. "Look, I'm not trying to be lazy, but I've been working double shifts since last week. Craig said if I didn't cover for the night guy, I'd be reconsidered." Derrick narrowed his eyes. "You covering front desk and night duty by yourself?" "Yeah, I sleep in the back office between calls. That's not safe or legal." "No one cares, I do." Tyler stared at him. "Wait. Are you the owner?" "Yeah." Tyler stood up slowly. Okay, I didn't mean any disrespect, I'm just tired. I get it. But going forward, no more double shifts without rest. You're not a robot, Tyler nodded. Thanks. Derrick turned to the monitor, 3 check-ins, 2 rooms still dirty. One had a broken AC unit flagged in the system, unresolved for over a week. He called Marcus. You feel up to tackling a unit today, Marcus appeared in minutes. I got some tools in my car. If it's just the capacitor, I can swap it out. Derrick nodded. Do it. And after that, take the rest of the day. Full pay. Marcus blinked. You serious? Dead serious. By late afternoon, Derrick had cleaned 2 more rooms himself, returned the missing carts to the cleaners, and unlocked the closet with the hoarded supplies. Fiona and Olivia immediately got to work, moving items where they belonged. The rooms looked better already. Derrick stepped outside for air. The sun was beginning to dip behind the building. A couple in their 60s pulled into the lot, hauling 2 suitcases from the back of an aging sedan. He walked over, checking in, he asked. Yeah, the woman said. Reservation under Martinez. Got it. I'll take care of you. He walked them in, grabbed their keys from behind the desk, and handed over 2 complimentary drink vouchers for the vending machine. Room's been cleaned just now. If there's anything wrong, let me know directly. As they headed up, Fiona came over. Her face was flushed from the heat, sleeves rolled up, dust on her arms. You didn't have to do all this, she said. Yes, I did. She hesitated, then asked, so what now? Are you staying? For a while, Derrick said. This place needs a full reset, and I want to see it through, she nodded. Good, because there's still a lot that's broken. We'll fix it, one thing at a time. He looked around the lobby, the hallway, and the back office. It wouldn't happen overnight, but the damage was clear. And now, at least, the silence was broken. The next morning, Derrick arrived before sunrise. The lot was still quiet, but he could already hear the hum of the industrial washers from the back wing. He carried a box of fresh uniforms over his shoulder, new polos, name tags, proper gloves, and slip-resistant shoes. All overnighted from HQ the moment he'd gotten back to his hotel the evening before. Inside, the lobby was dimly lit. Tyler was behind the desk again, slouched in the chair, eyes barely open. Tyler, Derrick said, setting the box down on the counter. Go home. Tyler blinked slowly. I'm good, you're not. You've been on for what, 19 hours now? 18. That's not something to be proud of, Tyler rubbed his eyes. I can't afford to lose hours. You're getting paid for a full shift today, but you're not working another minute. Go rest, I've got the desk. Tyler hesitated. You sure you want me coming back tomorrow? I'm not firing you for being overworked. Come back tomorrow at noon. We'll talk about setting up a rotation. Tyler exhaled, nodded, and shuffled out the front door. Derrick watched him disappear down the sidewalk before turning the lobby lights up and checking the day's reservations. 7 rooms to turn, 2 early check-ins flagged, and 1 long-term guest set to extend. He headed toward the staff room where Fiona and Olivia were already sorting linens. A third woman stood near the dryer, unfamiliar, older, with short cropped hair and a steady, no-nonsense expression. Morning, Derrick said. The woman turned. You're the owner, he nodded. Name's Brenda. I used to run laundry here full-time. Quit 6 months ago after Craig cut my hours without notice. What brought you back? Fiona called me last night, said you were cleaning house. I still know this place better than anyone. He looked at Fiona. She said she still had her key, Fiona said. And we need the help. Derrick turned back to Brenda. You want your job back, only if it's real this time, no games. It's yours, full-time. Benefits start next pay cycle. Brenda nodded once. Then I'll get to it. He left them to it and walked the perimeter of the building. The landscaping was overgrown. Trash bins hadn't been taken out. A maintenance request log hung on the door to the utility room. Over 30 requests, most marked pending. Marcus was already on his knees in the supply closet, sorting through rusted tools and broken light bulbs. I called my cousin, Marcus said without looking up. He's got a salvage yard, said he'll donate a few working drills and a ladder if we haul them ourselves. Derrick crouched beside him. You willing to help me inventory everything in here? I want a list of what's broken and what we actually need. Marcus nodded. Give me an hour. A car pulled into the lot. An older man in a light gray suit stepped out. His name badge read Herald Regional Ops. Derrick hadn't asked for a corporate visit, but word must have gotten out. "Derrick," Harold said as they shook hands, "didn't expect to find you here." "I didn't expect to be here either," Derrick said. "Walk with me." They moved through the hallway slowly, past chipped paint and flickering lights. "I got your memo about the issues at this location," Harold said. "But I figured it was exaggerated. Seems I was wrong." "You were," Derrick said. "It was worse." Harold looked around. "You replacing the GM? Already done. Craig's out. He was hoarding supplies and threatening staff." Harold let out a breath. "That's serious. I need a replacement. But not someone from the usual ladder. I want someone who's lived this place, someone who understands it." "Promoting from within," Derrick nodded. "I've got someone in mind, just watching how they carry themselves first." They passed the laundry room. Brenda was at the folding table, pressing corners with exact precision. Fiona moved between carts, organizing without being asked. Olivia was scrubbing a baseboard on her knees, headphones in, lost in concentration. Harold watched them. They seem solid. They are. But they've been surviving, not thriving. Harold folded his arms. "You reorganizing this whole chain?" "No, just fixing what's broken, and making sure no one like Craig ends up in charge again." Harold nodded and headed back outside. Derrick returned to the front desk, where a young woman with a suitcase stood waiting. "Sorry about the wait," he said, stepping behind the counter. "Checking in," she hesitated. "I'm actually here to apply. I saw the sign in the window." He narrowed his eyes. "Sign," she pointed. A handwritten note was taped to the glass. "Hiring C. Craig." Derrick pulled it down. "Craig's gone, but we are hiring. What's your name?" "Jasmine. I live right up the block." "Experience?" "Gas station. Cleaning crew. I work hard." He nodded. "Can you start tomorrow?" "Absolutely. Bring your ID. We'll get paperwork done. Uniforms on the way." She smiled. "Thank you." As she walked out, Derrick turned and saw Olivia standing near the hallway watching. "She looked nervous," Olivia said. "Most people are when they've been burned before." "I like her already," Olivia said. That afternoon, Derrick gathered the staff in the lobby: Fiona, Olivia, Brenda, Marcus, and a new hire named Darnell from another property who'd offered to transfer in once he heard about the changes. "I'm not big on speeches," Derrick said, "but I want to say this. No one here should ever feel powerless at work. You show up, you do your job, you deserve respect. That's the standard." Fiona crossed her arms. "What about pay?" "We're raising the base rate by $3 an hour," Derrick answered, "and everyone gets 2 guaranteed paid sick days starting next month." Brenda tilted her head. "What happens when the next Craig comes around?" "He won't." "But if he does, I want you to report it directly to me. No middlemen." Darnell nodded. "That's how it should be." Olivia raised a hand. "Can we ask for more training?" Derrick smiled. "Absolutely." They broke off then, returning to their tasks. Derrick stayed behind, logging notes for his HQ team. Inventory requests, payroll adjustments, and a plan to rotate weekend shifts to avoid burnout. By dusk, 3 more rooms had been turned. Guests were checked in without complaint. The property still needed repairs, but it was running. There was no yelling, no one rushing others, just steady movement. As he stepped outside to lock up the storage room, he saw Fiona sitting on the curb, phone in hand. She wasn't texting or scrolling, just staring at the screen. "You good?" he asked. She looked up. "Yeah. Just told my mom I might actually keep this job." He sat beside her but said nothing. "I've had 11 jobs since I was 16, she said. "Every time someone above me made it impossible to stay. I thought this place would be the same. It won't be. I'm not looking for miracles," she said. "Just a place that doesn't make me feel invisible." Derrick nodded. "Then let's make sure that's what it becomes." She gave a faint smile. "You think we'll actually have enough people to keep up?" "We'll find them, slowly, but we'll build a team that lasts." He stood, offered her a hand. She took it and stood too, brushing off her pants. "You ever thought about managing?" he asked. She blinked. "Me, you've got the eye, the steadiness, and you look out for people. I've never run anything. You've been running this floor without the title." "I'll train you myself if you're willing." She hesitated, then nodded. "Okay, then let's get to work." By the end of the week, the motel was holding together, but only just. Sheets were getting washed, rooms were being turned over, and the front desk was staffed throughout the day for the first time in months. But the cracks still showed. Equipment repairs were running behind, and the team was stretched thin. The changes Derrick had made gave the crew a reason to stay, but it wasn't enough to lift the weight overnight. He knew that. So on Monday morning, he arrived with a clipboard and a plan. "I'm running evaluations this week," he said as he met with the team in the laundry room, where the air was heavy with steam and fresh linen. "Not the kind that judge you. This isn't a test. I want to see what's working and what isn't from you." Fiona leaned against the folding table. "You want us to grade the building. I want you to grade the system. What's slowing you down? What's making your job harder than it needs to be?" Brenda hung a towel on the rack. "You want honest answers, only honest answers." Fiona didn't hesitate. "Start with the carts, they're too small. We waste time doubling back to grab linen." Olivia, sitting near the detergent bin, added, "And the vacuums. One of them still shuts off if you tilt it wrong." Brenda raised a finger. "And the towel inventory's off. Too many face cloths, not enough bath sheets." Derrick noted every word. "I'll get replacements ordered today. And starting next week, we'll try a new cart layout, one per hallway, not per person." He spent the rest of the morning shadowing Darnell on the second floor. The man worked fast, with calm precision, but by the third room, sweat was beading on his forehead. "You're too quick for one person," Derrick said. "Speed's not the issue," Darnell replied, straightening a duvet. "It's the timing. We don't always know when early check-ins are coming. If I'm halfway through a room and a guest shows up, I have to rush or get chewed out. Nobody should be getting chewed out." Darnell glanced at him. "Old habits die hard," Derrick nodded. "From now on, early check-ins get flagged by noon. No more last-minute surprises." That afternoon, he met with Harold again, this time in the cramped back office. The place still smelled faintly of mildew, but the files were now organized and the supply order system had been reset. "We've got a lead on a new assistant manager," Harold said. "Someone from the regional pool." "No need," Derrick replied. "I'm promoting Fiona." Harold raised an eyebrow. "She's only been here a month." "She's also the only person who didn't panic when this place fell apart. She held the line." "You sure she's ready?" "No, but I'm sure she's capable." "Readiness comes with trust." Harold leaned back in the chair. "Then I'll update payroll." That evening, Derrick sat down with Fiona in the break room. He handed her a packet, training materials, schedule templates, and a set of keys. "I'm not asking you to run this place yet," he said, "just to learn it from the other side." Fiona flipped through the pages. "I've never been responsible for anyone but myself." "You already are," he said. "You just didn't have the title." She looked up. "What about the others? Will they be okay with this? They already follow your lead. They're just waiting for you to notice." Fiona said nothing for a while, then closed the packet. "I'll try. Try's enough." By Thursday, the changes were becoming visible. Marcus had received a full tool set from the salvage yard and started patching drywall in the east hallway. Brenda trained Jasmine on the laundry rotation, and Olivia had taken over the evening supply checks. The rhythm was uneven, but it was theirs. Then on Friday morning, a man arrived at the front desk with a hard stare and a clipboard. He was from corporate HR. His name tag read Leon. "I'm here to conduct a follow-up inspection," he said flatly. "We've received reports." Derrick stepped in from the side hallway. "From who?" Leon looked at him, confused. "And you are owner Carson." Leon straightened. "Well, Mr. Carson, I was told there were irregularities during the leadership transition. Some unauthorized hiring, missing documentation." "There's nothing unauthorized," Derrick said. "I hired them myself. Every file is in the system. You can verify." Leon walked stiffly to the back office and began scanning through the computer. Derrick stood behind him, arms folded. After 10 minutes, Leon turned. "You're right. Everything's clean." "Then what's this really about?" Leon hesitated. "The previous manager filed a formal complaint, said he was terminated without cause. He was terminated for violating company policy and endangering staff. I have statements and supply records to prove it." Leon nodded slowly. "Understood." He left without further comment. Derrick returned to the hallway and found Fiona waiting by the doorway. "Was that about Craig?" she asked. "Yeah. He tried to pin it on us. Figures. He won't be back." That night, as the staff gathered in the lobby for a quick check-in, Derrick stood by the front counter. The air was lighter than it had been all week. Even the guests had started to notice the reviews coming in were quiet but positive. Words like clean, friendly, and comfortable were making their way back into the system. Darnell leaned against the desk. So what now? We finally get a holiday party, Brenda scoffed. Let's get through a full pay cycle first. Fiona turned to Derrick. You staying much longer? He shook his head. Not as staff, but I'll be back regularly, no more hiding behind reports. Olivia crossed her arms. Good, we'll hold you to that. I expect you to. Derrick reached into his jacket and pulled out a small envelope. He handed it to Fiona. What's this? She asked. Your first bonus for stepping up when no one asked you to. She opened it, blinked, then quickly tucked it away. You didn't have to do that, I know, but I wanted to. He looked around at the group. I built this company with a mop in one hand and a key in the other. Somewhere along the way, I stopped seeing the people behind the doors. That won't happen again. No one clapped, no one gave a speech, but Derrick didn't need them to. He saw it in the way they stood tired but steady, no longer waiting for the next blow to fall. Later that night, he walked the property one last time. The air was cool, the lot quiet. He passed room 206 and paused. The light was off. The bed had been made hours ago. Someone would sleep there tonight, unaware of the week the place had endured. That was how it should be. He headed back toward his car. As he reached the driver's side door, he heard footsteps behind him. Fiona. Hey, she said. I was thinking. The guest in 212 asked if we had board games. Weird request, I know. We don't, Derrick said, but we can. She nodded, then turned to head back in. Just before she reached the entrance, she looked over her shoulder. You were right, you know, she said. We're not invisible. Not anymore. Then she disappeared inside. Derrick got in the car, started the engine, and pulled away. Behind him, the motel lights stayed on.